Do you have an Ironman but no way of paying for boost for your scythe? Well, after this guide, your Ironman will go from looking like this to something like this. My name is Another Main, and I'm here to teach you how to do TOB 1+1s easily. I'll be going over only 2 setups that I think are good enough for this method. Let's get right into it. The starter setup. We'll be using Knee at Face Guard, Infernal Cape, Blood Fury, Stadius Warhammer, a Vernic Defender. You can substitute D Defender here if you don't have the money. Bando's Chestplate and Tassets, Prims, Ferocious Gloves. You can also substitute Barrow's Gloves here, they work well enough. Ring of Vigor, Lightbearer, and Scythe. Now, you can do 1+1s without Lightbearer, but it will speed up your time a lot. If you like to copy this setup, or the next one, make sure to right-click and replace one of your own setups, and choose the second option to copy another player's gear. Type in Another Main, and then it will ask what gear slot you want to copy. Type in 2 for this starter setup, and 1 for my max setup. Max setup. With this setup, we're using full Torva, Vesta top and bottom, Tokar Cape, which is the same stats as Infernal Cape, Blood Fury, Ferocious Gloves, Prims, Ring of Vigor, Stadius Warhammer, a Vernic Defender, Lightbearer, Bellator Ring, and a Scythe. The gear progression I would use upgrading between the starter setup and the max setup are as follows. Knee at Face Guard into Torva Helm, Bando's Chest into Vesta Plate, into Torva Plate, Bando's Tassets into Vesta Plate Legs, into Torva Plate Legs, Barrow Gloves into Ferocious Gloves, Berserker Ring Eye into Lightbearer, into Ultor Ring, into Bellator Ring. If you count the tile you enter on, then the marked tile that I have for the center that you'll use for P2 is 8 tiles away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to go into a full example kill, and hopefully this will help. Phase 1. Run to the marked tile in the center and drop 1 food and run behind the pillar. On the alt, grab the staff and run to the marked tile and start the fight. Spec twice and run to the main account to drop the staff underneath. Pick up the staff on the main and spec 3 times. There will be a little bit of delay, as you can see, because you're attacking on 2 accounts. Now spec 3 times, and after doing that, drop the staff to the alt and equip your Lightbearer and move to the second pillar. On the alt, pick up the staff, walk out from behind cover of the first pillar, stand by the second pillar, make sure you're on long range with the mage staff, and right after Verzik hits your Venge, spec her to kill her and start Phase 2. Phase 2. Divine Combat, put on Vesta and Scythe and get ready to attack Verzik when her first attack reaches halfway to your character. This is to get in timing where you won't attack so early that you'll heal Verzik later on in the fight when she spawns red crabs. After your first attack, get ready to pop the white crab to the west and the green to the north. If you're comfortable, you can do 2 attacks. After, drop your Stadius Warhammer spec to make this phase much faster. At around 60% or 1100 health, Verzik will start spawning 1 red crab to the east and to the west. Hit each crab once and wait for Verzik to shoot her red orb mage attack, and then continue attacking her. Do not finish killing the red crabs. Be careful for the crab spawns, as they happen quite a lot during red crab spawns. And if you notice you won't have a spec for P3, equip Lightbearer to make sure you have one for the start of P3. Phase 3. Statius Warhammer spec instantly and put on Scythe and start attacking. After around 5 to 6 of Verzik's attacks, a white crab will spawn to the southwest again, so be prepared to pop it. After popping it, make sure you are divine combated and put on Vesta. Now, get ready to run webs. There's 2 methods for webs, but I'll go over them later in the tips and tricks section. After webs, Verzik will do 4 attacks and then put a yellow portal on the ground. If it's close enough, do 1 to 2 hits, then run and stand on the portal. If you don't feel comfortable with this, just run and stand on the portal and wait for the orb to hit you, then continue attacking Verzik. Around 34% or 640-ish HP, Verzik will spawn a purple tornado that will chase after you for the duration of the fight. Whatever you do, don't stand on this tornado as it heals Verzik every game tick and will constantly heal her until you die or you continue to move and dodge it. After portals, Verzik will do 5 attacks, then she will shoot a giant green ball, which will deal 74 damage. You want to make sure that you are venged for this ball as it does speed up the time quite a bit. Now, I wanted to end on some tips and tricks for once you have the mechanics down pretty well and you can start to focus on learning other things. Such as, don't be afraid to brew down. With the way the tick system works in the game, you can scythe, drink a brew dose, drink a super combat dose, still hit the boss, and your combat stats will still be fully potted up. You will have lower mage and range, but you can restore those back as need be. Now, obviously, this is a very niche thing, as most times you'll want to restore your stats and with a super restore and then combat dose. But on those times where you're really in a crunch, it is nice to have that option. The second one being Venge is free DPS. You should always be Venged or on cooldown for another Venge to be activated. Wearing full Torva increases the amount of HP a Brudos will heal from 16 to 20. So, if you're ever healing, make sure to throw on your Torva, and the brews will heal you extra. It is very helpful to have. Also, Torva can get you to 142 HP in this game, and that is very useful for phase 1 using Redemption and your first Venge. When Verzik moves to the center of the room and starts shooting webs, there's 2 methods you can do. 1, the tank method. Dodge the first 3 sets of webs that are shot at you and then stand still to get caught in the 4th set of webs. This will ensure you don't have to dodge any more webs during the web phase, but you will take 50 damage as a trade-off. Method 2. Run, Forest, run. Hit Verzik and keep running around her, dodging all the webs. You can get 2 hits per side of her you're on, but if you don't feel comfortable getting that second hit, just continue running not to get stuck. With all these tips and tricks out of the way, you are now perfectly capable of running a 1+1 TOB. Best of luck, and thanks for watching.